Your space, commercial real estate. People talk about one of the main advantages being longer-term leases, right? Longer WALEs, as you guys call it in the REIT industry, right? In an environment like this, though, where inflation is going up, if you're locked into, or your tenants are locked into longer leases, does that not actually give you less flexibility? Because let's say if it were not 5 or 10 years, but more like 2 or even 1 year, then you have the ability to at least attempt to jack up your rents to capture that.
Yeah, look, that's one of the advantages of being in Europe, predominantly freehold, but to your point specifically, most of our leases actually have annual inflation index clauses. So we're writing rent invoices at the moment 7-8% higher than what the tenant was previously paying, because we're able to pass on a lot of that inflation to many of our tenants. So that's why we're able to deliver 5% NPI growth in this set of results, because we're able to pass on that annual inflation. So you raise a very good point, but it is structurally, from a European perspective, we're protected from high inflation because we can actually pass that on to our tenants. And with many of them being government or blue chip, they're able to absorb those higher costs.
Yeah, so Simon, just circle back to DPU, increased by 2.3% year on year in the first half. Is that a number that you can equal, better, or is that number at risk in the second half? And if I can also ask you, logistics, data centres especially, that really seems to be the hot space, the hot item. Are you looking to do more in the data centres realm?
Yeah, we're more willing and able to develop through our logistics pipeline. We see less headwinds from an energy perspective in logistics than we do in data centres. So that's something at the moment. Tactically, we're very much focused on growing logistics, both the e-commerce side of things. We're seeing, the last 2 years, 100 billion euros of increased online sales. Those sales have to be stored somewhere, so we continue to see demand from logistics from 3PLs, but also the manufacturing sectors, bringing a lot of their businesses back from Asia and setting up their assembly plants in Europe, and so they need sheds. So we've just seen 8% growth in rents because there's no supply. We've got no vacancy. In some of our markets, we're 100% leased. So, it's almost like an auction if you want that extra space. So we're still very much focused in our pivot towards logistics, and that's, driving a lot of this growth. In terms of making a broader outlook statement, obviously we operate under SGX listing rules. My board has not provided that outlook because of the uncertainty that Martin described. But, our stated objective of providing stable and growing distributions should provide investors comfort that what we've just announced is a reasonably good guide towards the sort of that stable and growing proposition.